Rowan here, checking in January 14th, Monday, and we have some snow in Washington, D.C. There it is out there. Today in the gym, we're going through some trap bar deadlifts, some goblet squats with the kettlebell, and last but not least, you saw the bench all geared up. On Saturday, Truck Stop had our preseason team meeting, and for the first time in the history of Ultimate Frisbee, all three captains, Nate Castine, David Cranston, and myself, have put up 225 on the bench, the most important lift in Ultimate. Debatable, but we'll see. Alright, gonna go pack up some Frisbees to throw tonight and head into the closet here. Let's see, we got some choices all the way down here. Got some choices to throw with. I'm probably thinking about going with the J-Stars. Been throwing these lately, real flexible. Anybody else throw the mini disc? But no, I'm gonna pack up some 175s and get some throws in tonight. Every now and then I like to check in and work on some areas of my game. When I experiment like this, I'll just bring 10, 15 discs to a net, and that way I can make a million errors just like that. The two parts of my game I'm working on this off season are a stationary static flick hook, generating power position just from standing. I like to throw my flick hooks in motion on a /7 cut or a horizontal, power position, neutral position, just out of motion. This upcoming year, I want to stay locked here and just develop that 60, 70 yard flick hook out of no prior momentum. The other part of my game I'm working on is the backhand hook. I've been throwing compact backhands my whole career. That lets me throw the disc far, but I cannot throw it with a mark just because my release point is so close to my body. The next thing I want to do is throw more of a Tyler Monroe kind of hook where I'm keeping this elbow a little straighter. That's going to allow me to get that outside in released away from the defender. If you'll notice, I'm working on two things with the stationary flick hook. You'll notice a couple sets with a step out, a shimmy step out. That's going to help get my release point out and much tougher to block, especially without power position. The mark's going to be closer naturally. However, you're also going to see me doing some shimmies and not stepping out at all. This is kind of what some of the power throwers are doing. If you watch Nethercutt especially, he's just picking up his foot and putting it down. Throwing is all about having a compact form, especially on that forehand. That's going to help the release timing. It's not going to take as long to throw, and it's also just less moving parts. When you have less moving parts as a thrower, the better. There's less of an error, some angle getting switched, and there's just a few other positive benefits to just having a compact, quick throwing motion. One thing I just kind of thought about and have been thinking about is, do you use the Frisbee to sell the pump fake, or should you just keep it with your shoulders and head? Using that Frisbee might get a little more bite, but at the same time, then again, you have more moving parts, and now you're coming into a huck, moving that Frisbee all the way across your body. So it's something to think about. Let me know in the comments if you like to use that Frisbee to try to get defenders to bite one way or the other. As you start to develop a skill in Ultimate, it's always great to have a counter. For example, when you see Markham with the disc, every team knows he can hook on both sides, so he gets that flat mark. That allows him to break the mark even easier. So the more you can develop a flick hook or a backhand hook, it's great to have that counter. So next up, I'm gonna be working on my shimmy flick fake. Hopefully the mark comes flat, and then I can break a round backhand. All right, last question for the comments. Do you like to throw that big step around backhand break, or do you like the half pivot, no pivot, quick release? I don't know. I definitely have an opinion, but I would love to hear yours. All right, thanks for checking out the throwing workout tonight. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, Rowan757. Today I'm just gonna let the camera run, and I'm just gonna pretend that there's a game out there and I'm just making cuts. I'm gonna do everything at 40-50% for the mental reps, experiment on some things, double moves, triple moves. You know, coach doesn't love when I make 4 moves in the lane, but sometimes you got to. Peace. So I remember, still a little out of breath, of course, out of shape. I remember 3 years ago now, me and Jonathan Neely wanted to learn how to clean. We never had clean before. So we went to our little church gym and hole in the wall place on Rhode Island Avenue, Mount Calvary, and it was sweet. But we were just like learning with the bar and slowly starting to put more weight on it. I think this was the off season going into 2017. And then 135 was always like the number we wanted to get to. And it's just pretty crazy how just lifting consistently for now like 2 or 3 years can come into the gym after like 4 or 5 months without cleaning and just kind of rep 135. It's just a pretty cool thing just to see how being consistent in something just really builds and builds and builds. Sorry about the hair, looks terrible. Troy brought that to my attention, but I'll get it fixed soon. I'm not gonna let it go this time. Get a nice haircut, hopefully tomorrow.